The issue of violence against children in our society is absolutely disheartening. Children everywhere are being traumatized physically, psychologically, emotionally. I think this is a very big issue that we all have to hold our hands together and fight. This is why we're talking about the issue today. The issue is ending violence against children. My name is Aisha Shehu, and with me today in the studio is the only gentleman, David Uchendu. You're welcome.
Thank you very much for having me here.
Sherry Frank Ayau, you're welcome.
Thank you.
Odeni Ibukum, we look forward to your contributions.
I'm honored.
Let's start with the meaning of violence against children. What do you understand, or what would you explain violence against children as, Ibukun?
Well, to me, violence is any action that portrays embittered emotions towards a child which have damaging effects. It's also an exaggerated reaction towards a child's misbehavior or a misunderstanding between the parents and the child.
Why would anyone want to portray embittered emotions on a child?
Amen.
Sherry, do you have anything to say about this?
Well, I think it's disheartening to hear that a child will be beaten up mercilessly or ruthlessly by his or her own parent for an offense that the punishment given to him isn't even meant to be up to that level. Yes, a child should be corrected, but the punishment given to him should be measured according to his offense. And from my own perspective, I think violence is a coercive behavior on a child with the intentions to hurt or kill that child emotionally, physically, or psychologically.
Okay. So, David, do you have anything in addition to this?
Well, I think violence is an extreme form of aggression, which can be assault, rape, or murder. Imagine a child being assaulted, a child being raped. All these things are very terrible things, and it needs to be stopped.
Things that happen in our environment every day. Some people don't even know about these things. Different experiences. What this child experiences and what this child is going through. So what do you have to say about this?
There are different forms of violence. For example, we have self-directed violence, which occurs when the child is his or her own perpetrator or victim due to some verbal abuses or offenses inflicted on him or her by his or her own parents, abusing them, or when making them look down on themselves, like they are not important in the society anymore, they should just back away. This affects their social life and academically also, which is very bad.
Yes, self-esteem is very important. Ibuku Odeni, what do you have in addition?
In addition, I'd like to say we also have sexual violence. This is now the order of the day. You hear stories every day about rape, about sexual abuse, exposing children to sex materials at a very tender age. When these children report and when they talk, they say that they dress indecently, they seduce the person. How can a 3-year-old child seduce a 53-year-old man, for God's sake? I mean, it's terrible. You also have physical violence where the parent or the master or the guardian is inflicting pain on that child. You see, madam burning a house help's hand for what? Just because she burnt a pot of rice. What's the meaning of that? You hear people stripping the children naked, flogging them mercilessly, giving them marks, razor cuts, machetes. It's not good. I really think this should stop. It's really terrible.
What are the effects of violence against children? What do you think is the end result of children who violence have been inflicted on? Sherry?
I do think that once violence has been inflicted on a child, that they do lose their self-esteem, their self-confidence. They don't have the mind or guts to face the society because of the traumas they have faced at home, in schools, public places like the bank, market, and so on. So I think it affects the child socially, mentally, and doesn't help the child to focus or concentrate on his academics.
David, what do you think are the effects?
Violence has so many effects, and violence can lead to serious injuries. Like
Yes.
children are disabled because of excessive beating, which is really bad. Like I said before, children get diseases from this violence. As all these victims are in the hospital, they can't go to school because they were assaulted, raped, or any other form of wicked acts were done on them, and it's just bad.
Imagine how many children are being assaulted, how many children are in the hospital and are emotionally down and can't concentrate in school. What future do we have then? Ibukun, what do you have to say about this?
I also think the effects of violence on a child could also be depression,
Yes.
frustration, and this could lead to a drop in their academics. I mean, what is the future of a child if the person does not have education? Where would you find a job? And you, from an A-level student, you go to F. I mean, and then the parents will not be able to understand because most of the times they can't talk, they can't speak because they have this inferiority complex. They feel they didn't fight enough, especially in the case of rape where we have post-traumatic effects, where the child feels maybe I didn't dress well, I didn't walk well, I didn't fight enough. And there's this guilt, and everything is just bottled in a child that doesn't have a matured mind to like absorb all this pain and move on. It shuts out the person's social life. It makes the child like so broken, so traumatized, so it affects every area of that child's life. It's not nice and it's really bad. It should be frowned against by the government, by everyone. It starts from me to everyone.
Yes, it does. How do you think we can safeguard ourselves against violence? What should all the children facing violence do? What do you think we should do to help ourselves, David?
Well, I think we should learn to be polite to people, the way we speak. We should stop lying to our parents. If you do something wrong, it's good to confess.
Yes.
Because the more you lie, they will get more angry, and that is how they unleash their anger. And you should keep company with friends that are against violence and they go to safe places. Obey your parents. If they say don't go there, you should learn not to go there. You should go to places that are safe and that are meant for you. Don't go to all the places that have adults and you don't know them. They can just do anything at that moment.
Yes. Ibukun, what do you think we should do to safeguard ourselves from violence?
I think actually that most of the time we should avoid isolated places.
Yes.
Because most of these evil acts are perpetrated in the dark where people can't see them. We, as children, we should be back at home at 6 o'clock. We shouldn't roam about in the night. It's not, at first it's immoral. It's not accepted by the society, by the African society to be specific. And also it helps to prevent a lot of things that could have happened if we go out at that time.
Okay. Sherry, Frank, a child facing violence right now, like, what do you advise the child to do? What do you think the child should do to ease things for him or for his or herself?
The child shouldn't bottle up his or her emotions. He should rely on or trust his parents or teachers, guardians, and tell them what they are going through so that they could be able to help them and help them go through what their pains and stuff.
Okay, thank you very much. What are the roles of government in ending violence against children? Do you think the government is doing enough? Do you think you're contented with everything that the government is doing against violence against children? Or do you think there's still room for more, David?
Well, the government, they have tried to eradicate violence and more can still be done, like establishment of government agencies to protect children against these violence acts. All these victims now that have been assaulted, so the person that assaulted them can be arrested or something can be done, and these victims should be taken care of. And also creation of rehabilitation centers, because people who involve in violence, they can be drug addicts or they can have anger issues. You should have rehabilitation centers to be able to control them so that they won't unleash their frustration on other people
Yes.
or children.
Ibukun, what do you have to add to what he has said?
I totally agree with David. It's actually, we need to create rehabilitation centers for both the perpetrators and also the victims,
Yes.
because this also has effects on the victims. You could, some may begin to portray anger and also pass on violence to other people, which could make it spread.
What do you think, Sherry Frank?
I think the government should create counseling agencies for the victims of violence. That they should be able, people that will be able to talk to these children that have been violated, counsel them, tell them what to do next, what not to do, advise them, give them a little bit of understanding, show love and care towards them.
I also think that the law enforcement agencies should be very vigilant on issues of violence against children. I think that the offenders should be punished severely. And what are our roles in ending violence against us? What do we have to do to end violence against ourselves? Sherry.
We should be we should discipline ourselves. Sometimes it's our faults. So I think we should discipline ourselves, avoid going to all these places. We shouldn't talk to strangers. We should always be at homes after 6. We shouldn't go out.
Thank you very much, Sherry. Now, can we all have our final words on this? Ibukun Odeni?
Well, my final words are, we should, as the people in authority over children, those that are taking care of the children, should please be more careful with your children. Be careful with who you keep your children with. Try to study your child. Any change in your child's behavior should be noticed, and you should show more care and love to your children. Make them free. Make them able to talk to you, to express their feelings, and to be able to tell you when anything goes wrong. It goes a long way in stopping violence.
David, what are your final words on this issue?
I think parents play a major role in ending violence. They should learn to keep an eye on their children, the type of friends that they have, bring their children up in a peaceful way, be protecting them from all these dangers, watch where they are going, because most parents do not have time for their children because of that they are traveling, and they should mind the kind of people they put to watch over their children when they go out or anywhere.
Feel free to tell others, share your problems. You can't do it alone. We're all in this together. We'll hold hands and we'll fight this together. And I hope our discussion today is of importance and has impacted lives. And I hope that you enjoyed our program. Thank you very much. We look forward to meeting you again next time.